I'm sharing a reading experience. I took down notes from a three-volume set called Golden Nuggets of Thought by Ezra L. Marler. And I'm sharing these notes with you now. I hope you listen and receive something worthwhile from this. Remember, these are just my notes, not necessarily a report of what the books were about, and they might not even be the words or thoughts of the author. Rather, these are notes that I gleaned or things that I thought about while I was reading. These notes are what caught my interest because the ideas expanded my knowledge or made me think, reflect, or ponder in some way. This video might inspire you to read what I did. That's my hope that you'll search from the best books and gain information and ideas to help you to become a better person. The more you read, the better you'll think. And the better you think, the more you'll be able to face life's challenges successfully. Golden nuggets of thought are sweet morsels and the mental vitamins that add zest to life. Volume 1 was written in 1946. Here are some of the thoughts. Howard Arnold Walter wrote, I would be true, for there are those that trust me. I would be pure, for there are those who care. I would be strong, for there is much to suffer. I would be brave, for there is much to dare. I would be friend of all, the foe, the friendless. I would be forgiving and forget the gift. I would be humble, for I know my weakness. I would look up and laugh and love and lift. William Penn penned, men must be governed by God, or they will be ruled by tyrants. Chaubert said, children have more need of models than of critics. A Persian proverb states, every man goes down to his death, bearing in his hands only that which he has given away. Edgar A. Guest said, there are two kinds of lies, the ones you tell and the ones you live. Annan said, not what is it was his church, but had he befriended those really in need? Ezra L. Marler told us, only as we learn truth and obey it do we find freedom and progress. Obedience to the laws of health frees us from distress and disease and gives us vigor and comfort of body. Obedience to the laws of physics frees us from cold, darkness, and inability by the way of heat, light, and power. Obedience to the laws of learning frees us from ignorance and superstition and gives us knowledge and wisdom. Obedience to the laws of society frees us of strife and contention to give us peace and harmonious living. Obedience to the laws of God frees us from the grasp of evil opposing powers to give us joy rather than misery. Carlyle said, I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good work, therefore, any kindness or any service I can render to any soul, man or animal, let me do it now. Let me not neglect or defer it, for I shall not pass this way again. Alex Carlyle, MD, told us, prayer is a force as real as gravity. As a physician, I have seen men, after all other therapy has failed, lifted out of disease and melancholy by the severe effort of prayer. It is the only power in the world that seems to overcome the so called laws of nature. The occasions on which prayer has dramatically done this has been termed miracles. But a constant, quieter miracle takes place hourly in the hearts of men and women who have discovered that prayer supplies them with a steady flow of sustaining power in their daily lives. Ezra L. Marlar stated, every thought, every word, every deed makes its record on the tablets of the soul. That record is an indelible picture of what we are. Richard L. Evans said, "All men have the God given right to think and believe as they will, and all men have the God given responsibility to render an accounting sometime, somewhere for those things which they chose to think and believe." George Horace Latimer advised, "It's good to have money and things that money can buy, but it's good, too, to check up once in a while to make sure you haven't lost the things that money can't buy." You can call this the boomerang or karma or something else, but long ago, Edwin Markham said, "There is a destiny that makes us brothers. None goes his way alone. All that we send into the lives of others comes back into our own." John Wesley's mother told him, "Whatever increases the authority of your body over your mind, that thing to you is sin." Volume 2 was written in 1955. Henry Frederick Cope said, "The supreme message of Christianity is that man is a child of God, born of a divine family, intended to grow into a fullness of divine relationship and likeness." E.H. Captain said, "Skepticism has never founded empires, established principles, or changed the world's heart. The great doers in history have always been men of faith." L.J. Muir said, "The faith that really moves mountains does not disdain to employ dynamite and steam shovels." William H. Reeder Jr. stated, "One who indulges in gossip exhibits low breeding and empty brain, devoid of substantial or constructive thinking." Hubbard said, "The recipe for perpetual ignorance is, be satisfied with your opinion and content with your knowledge." L.J. Muir told us that the broadest assertions often come from the narrowest minds. Pope observed, "It is with narrow-souled people as with narrow-necked bottles. The less they have in them, the more noise they make in pouring it out." Daniel Webster said in his last public address, given in 1852 to the New York Historical Society, quote, "Gentlemen, if we in our prosperity shall be true to the Christian religion, if we and they shall live always in the fear of God and respect his commandments, if we and they shall remain just, moral sentiments, and such conscientious convictions of duty as shall control the heart and life, we may have the highest hopes of the future fortunes of our country. And we may be sure of one thing: our country will go on prospering. But if we and our country reject religious instruction and authority, violate the rules of eternal justice, trifle with the injunctions of morality, and recklessly destroy the political constitution which holds us together, no one can tell how suddenly a catastrophe may overwhelm us and shall bury all of our glory in profound obscurity." Washington Irving taught, "Great minds have purposes, others have wishes. Little minds are tamed and subdued by misfortune, but great minds rise above them." Volume 3 was written in 1958. Layman Abbott felt that mob law is better than no law at all. A community which rises in its wrath to punish with misdirected anger a great wrong is in a healthier moral condition than a community which looks upon its perpetration with apathy and unconcern. Charles H. Spurgeon said, "A man is not bad because a viper bites him. Excellent persons are liable to be assailed by malicious slanderers who, because of their serpent nature, take delight in attacking." Then he went on to say, "Be good, get good, and do good. Do all the good you can to all the people you can, in all the ways you can, as often as you can, as long as you can." Abraham Lincoln implored, "Let us have faith that right makes might. And in that faith, let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it." Benjamin Franklin advised, "If you would not be forgotten as soon as you are dead, either write things worth reading or do things worth writing." Ella Wheeler Wilcox taught, "All those who journey soon or late must pass within the gardener's gate, must kneel alone in darkness there and battle with some fierce despair. God pity those who cannot say, 'Not mine, but thine,' who only pray, 'Let this cup pass,' and cannot see the purpose of Gethsemane." Sir Walter Scott was quoted as saying, "The wretch, concerned all in self, living, shall forfeit fair renown, and doubly dying shall go down to the vile dust from whence he sprang, unwept, unhonored, and unsung." Byron said, "Prayer will make a man cease from sin, or sin will entice a man to cease from prayer." "It was my custom in my youth," said a celebrated Persian writer, "to rise from my sleep, to watch, pray, and read the Koran. One night, as I was thus engaged, my father, a man of practiced virtue, awoke. 'Behold,' I said to him, 'thy children are lost in irreligious slumbers, while I alone awake to praise God.' 'Son of my soul,' he said, 'it is better to sleep than wake up and remark the faults of thy brethren.'" This was taken from a book called They Tell a Story. French philosopher Alexis de Tocqueville said, "I sought for greatness and genius of America in her commodious harbors and her ample rivers, and it was not there. In her fertile fields and boundless prairies, and it was not there. In her rich mines and her vast world commerce, and it was not there. Not until I went into the churches of America and heard her pulpits aflame with righteousness did I understand the secret of her genius and power. America is great because she is good, and if America ever ceases to be good, America will cease to be great." Daniel Webster remarked, "Religion is the tie that connects man to his creator." Francis Guthrie said we should be, quote, "fearful of little sins. Take alarm even at an evil thought, wish, or desire. These are the germs of sin, the floating seeds which drop into the heart and finding in our nature corruption, a fat and favorable soil, spring up into actual transgressions. These, like the rattle of the snake and the hiss of the serpent, reveal the presence and near neighborhood of danger. The experience of all good men proves that sin is most easily crushed in the bud, and that it is safer to flee from temptation than to fight it. Dr. Carl G. Mazer said these three things to us. One, be yourself, but always better yourself. Two, everyone's life is an object lesson to others. Three, let your first good morning be to God. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, X's and O's.